everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Yummy Brown of Yommycrochetlogy, and today's tutorial is this cute dress that is made of chunky yarns. You can definitely use yarns that is from medium to super bulky for this kind of project, but this one is using a super bulky and it's very warm and kind of heavy. I designed this for a purpose of a photo shoot outfit that you might need one. It's fun to wear, but it's not your daily basis kind of dress. I will also release a written pattern for this one, so please do check the description box below for the pattern. So if you like my content that talks about crochet and styling our crochet pieces, please smash that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. These are the materials that we will be using for this tutorial. I'm using a chenille tool that's a bulky, super chunky acrylic yarn, a tape measures, and a darning needle to wave our ends if you're fond of waving ends, scissors, a 10mm hook, some beads, and the stitch markers. So stitch markers will be available in my Etsy shop soon, and a puff flowers. I have a separate tutorial for the puff flowers. Please see the card above or the description box below. So I will start with the chest panel using this chenille yarn, and I already have here my panel. This is just made of single crochets in rounds, and how I figured out to get my measurement is first you will figure out how long you want your panel. So in my case, this is 5 inches long. That's enough to cover just the bust area, and also the circumference of your panel. Mine is 17.5 inches, or a total of 35. I'm usually 34 in the bust area, but I give you extra inches in this size so it's not too tight. So let's begin our chain. So in my case, 35 inches is 68 foundation chain. So I will chain here 20 just to show you guys how I started it. But in your case, you have to make a foundation chain that is equal to your bust measurements. So we already have our foundation chain. So in my case, 68. And in your case, it should be equal to your bust measurements, the circumference, and then slip stitch to the very first chain that you made in this row to connect your work. Okay, so we will be working in rounds. So now you have to chain 1, and we will be working in every stitches around. Okay, so the direction of your work should be in rounds. Then single crochet in the next stitch and every stitches around. So we're using here a single crochet, so we reach here at the very end of this first single crochet rows of our panel for the chest, and then we will slip stitch to the chain 1 that we made in the beginning of this row. Okay, so far this is the panel should look like. Yours should be bigger since you're making a panel that is equals to your bust measurements. This one here is just a prototype. So next row is again chain of 1, and we will be working in every stitches around. Okay, so single crochet in every stitches around the bust or chest panel. To continue your single crochets around your chest panel until you reach here. So you have to continue your single crochet until you have rows that is equal to the length of your panels. So since we're already done with the chest panel, we will attach or make the skirt. Okay, so start at the back where we slip stitched, and this time we're using a different kind of yarn. This one here is a super chunky. Again, you may use a different yarn that is between medium to super chunky. Attach the yarn and make a chain of 3. So as you crochet along, you can bury this tail. Then double crochet in the same stitch. So with chunky yarns, it's a bit difficult to work on with sometimes, but you'll get the hang of that. So this one here, the chain 3, is always count as a chain. So we already have our first V here. And then again, double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, there's your double crochet. In the next stitch, increase. So the way we increased, we have to put 2 double crochet in the same stitch. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. So this is my second double crochet in the same stitch. So there you go. So increase, double crochet, and then increase. So this is the first row for the skirt. So increase, double crochet, and increase. You have to repeat this pattern until you reach the very beginning, which is the chain 3. So you have to work again in rounds. So I'm here at the end, and I will just slip stitch into the chain 3 that we made in the very beginning of this row. So preview, this is how your first row of the skirt should look like. This is the increase part. Next row, chain of 3. And then this time you have to count 10 stitches and put 1 double crochet in each stitches. Okay, so in the next 10 stitches you have to make a double crochet. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is my 10th. Okay, so this is the first 10 double crochet in this row. And then after your 10th double crochet, you have to make a front post double crochet using this post. Okay, so wrap your yarn, insert into that post the previous row, and make a double crochet around that post. Okay, so we're using a front post double crochet after your 10th double crochet. Again, repeat the 10 double crochets in the next 10 stitches. So there's the 10 double crochets, and after that again, repeat the front post double crochet in this post here. Okay, you just have to find that post just below the stitch after the 10th double crochet. Continue the pattern of 10 double crochets and then front post double crochet around the skirt until you reach the very beginning of your row. So I'm here at the end, and I will just double crochet this last stitches left to close the row, and then slip stitch to the chain 3 that we made the beginning of the round. That's our second row of the skirt. Again, chain of 3, and again double crochet in every stitches until you reach the front post double crochet. Okay, so just double crochet in every stitches until you reach this post here. Okay. So this is the front post double crochet, and we have to include this stitch right above the front post double crochet. and then make a front post double crochet into the post below that stitch. The reason I include the stitch above is this is our way of making an increase to the skirt, okay, to make the skirt slowly flare up. Okay, so it's kind of like include that hidden stitch just above the front post, double crochet from the previous round. So continue the pattern until you reach here, and you have to keep repeating that row or pattern until you have long enough to your liking. So in my case, 13 inches long. Here at the end of my last rows for this skirt, and I'll just close this. This is 12 rows and this is 13 inches long. Again, that's enough for me, and I'm not that tall, so I don't need much of a skirt. So if you need more skirt or more length, just add more rows. And then I have here the puff flower already attached, and this is how you will attach the puff flower. I just use a sewing thread that is close to the color of my puff flower. So for the tutorial of this puff flower, it should be in my description box below or in the card above, so you can check that one. So I just get a little bit of the yarn in the skirt. I don't want the thread showing at the back of the skirt, so I just get a tiny bit of the yarn of the skirt, and then that's how I attach this puff flower. And we're done. This is what our puff flower looks like once attached. So I already have here one of the sleeves finished or done, and then I'll show you guys how I make this in the other side. But before that, you have to fit the dress and decide where you want your sleeves will be. So I have here the stitch marker. That's where I will put my sleeves. And I have here 5.5mm hook, and then I use the same yarn as I use in the chest panel. Attach your yarn where your stitch marker is and secure that one because the dress is quite heavy, so you have to tie the yarn and make a chain of 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we will start with a chain of 5. Then we will count 3, and then on the third chain from the hook, you have to make a treble crochet. Wrap your yarn twice into your hook and insert your hook into the third chain from the hook and make a treble crochet. So here is the hole that the treble crochet and the chain 3 created, and we will be working inside that hole. And then chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. This time you will insert your hook into the circle, yarn over, insert it into the circle, pull a yarn and bring this all the way up to give a height to your yarn, and you should have 3 yarns in your hooks right now, or 3 loops. And then again, yarn over and then insert it to the circle, pull a yarn and bring it all up to give a height. Okay, so you should have 2, 4, 5 loops in your hook, and again yarn over and insert your hook into the circle and pull a yarn and bring it up all the way up. Okay, so we have 3 repeats to make a puff petal. This is a different kind of puff flower. Yarn over and pull a yarn all the way to second to the last loop of your hook. and then yarn over again and pull it through all the way to the end. So this is the first petal, and then chain of 3, and then again slip stitch to the circle to close the first petal. Okay, so that's how we make the petals of this puff flower. So again, repeat the pattern of chain 3 and yarn over and insert your hook into the circle and pull a yarn and bring it all up, and you have to repeat it 3 times to complete your puff petal. So repeat this until you have 4 petals. I'm here at the end of my 4th petal, and I slip stitch to the circle, pull a yarn, and this time repeat the chain 5. So I have here another chain 5 for us to begin the next flower. So preview, this is what the flower should look like. You have 4 petals. Then triple crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, okay, to create a circle for us to work into. Again, repeat the pattern of the puff flower until you have 4 flowers. If you needed more, just add more flowers or chains to accommodate the length of your sleeve. I'm here at the end of my 4th flower, and I'm ending it with a chain of 2. Slip stitch your sleeves at the back of your panel or the dress. So this one here has 7 stitches between from the center, so I'll just count the same in the other side and slip stitch my yarn in this side. And secure the yarn. And this is what your sleeve should look like. 4mm hook. And we will make a single crochet into the neckline of our dress. That is to give the dress a nice edge. Okay, so just single crochet around the top panel or the neckline of your dress. So around, you're working in rounds, including where the sleeves are until you reach here where you started. So I'm here at the end where we started our single crochet edging, and then I'll just have to complete it with a single crochet in the last stitches and slip stitch to the very first stitch. And cut it off and secure the yarns. So we're pretty much done with the dress, and there's a separate tutorial for this kind of puff flower. You can check that description box below or in the card above. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. So before I will end this video, I would like to announce the winners of my 10K subscribers giveaway here in YouTube. And I decided I will add 5 more winners to receive 3 copies of a PDF pattern. And these are the winners of the 3 copies for the PDF patterns.
Just find out. Pretty blue jeans and me, running through evergreen, running through evergreen. Pretty blue jeans and me, yeah, she's what I need.
Congratulations, lovelies! Please read the description box below how to claim your prizes. And there will be 1 grand winner to receive all the goodies that I include in my giveaway.
Still need to recover from another lover. Pretty blue jeans.
Congratulations, lovely, and thank you for joining. Please read in the description box below how to claim your prizes.